Could your pet's flea treatment be killing songbirds? Well, a recent study found songbirds were using dog and cat fur tainted with insecticides to create their nests.
They've been compared to knobberchop for bees.
Experts found a higher number of unhatched eggs or dead chicks in nests where there was a higher incidence of insecticide found in these treatments.
Do not be going out and putting pet hair out thinking you're helping the birds because they'll have a nice cosy nest.
So how did we get here, and what can we do about it? We've lost more than half our UK songbirds since the 70s. Intensive farming, climate change, we have some clues about why. But could another major cause be something closer to home? Our pet dogs and cats, more than 20 million of them. Scientists have been asking if pesticides were somehow poisoning birds' nests, speeding this catastrophic decline in numbers.
They took the nest out, anything that was inside, so here we have some eggs.
Sussex University began researching pesticides generally in birds' nests. They weren't looking at pesticides from pet flea treatments specifically.
And then we would remove the fur used as a nest lining material.
Birds use animal fur, often from dogs and cats, to line their nests. Analysis of that fur suddenly produced a scientific bombshell. 100% of the nests they analysed from across the UK were contaminated by chemicals found in flea and tick treatments for dogs and cats. When the results came back from the lab, they showed that 103 of the nests, all of them, were contaminated with the neonicotinoid chemicals, which are banned in agriculture in the UK, but still present in these pet products. Not only that, they were there in high concentrations. The scientists couldn't believe what they were seeing.
Very sad for birds and bird population in general, and just the fact that we found those insecticide everywhere.
Professor and dog owner Dave Goulson is a leading UK researcher in this field. So just how dangerous are these chemicals?
To insects, they're incredibly toxic. They're neurotoxins. I mean, they've been compared to knobberchop for bees. The dose you put on a Labrador once a month, if you follow the instructions on the packet or the advice of many vets, is enough to kill 30 million honeybees if they were to come into contact with it. And a related issue is that they're really persistent, these chemicals. They're water soluble, they hang around on the animal for at least a month and probably a lot longer. They come off in the fur, they come off if the dog goes for a swim, they come off even if you just stroke your pet dog. It's then on your hands, and so we've washed people's hands and tested them, and you could, even a month after they applied the stuff to their dog, you can still detect it on the hands of owners, which is slightly concerning from a human health point of view.
Scientists say the higher the contamination of pet pesticides, the greater number of unhatched eggs and dead chicks.
And then if you open it carefully, there should be some material in there.
So urgent research is now underway, licensed to examine birds' nests to find out just how toxic these chemicals are to birds.
We take a mirror and we have a look what's inside.
Meanwhile, though, nobody quite knows how we've ended up with poisons totally banned in farming because they're so dangerous to wildlife, yet freely available not just from vets but from supermarkets, no questions asked.
These things are unacceptable in agriculture, therefore they are unacceptable in veterinary surgeries. The science is there.
So we're already saying people need to think really carefully about how they use them. So you don't use these things in your dog if your dog is going to swim or contaminate waterways or do anything like that. I wouldn't use these products on my own dog. I don't. So it's both how we use the products themselves, whether we use them as things like spot-ons, and also which chemicals we use. But I would caution that if we stop using these and we move to others, we need to know about those compounds as well, because those compounds could actually be more dangerous.
Veterinary bodies and the government all support the ongoing research, but we can all act now without waiting for any of that, say leading campaigners and scientists.
Do not be going out and putting sort of your pet hair out thinking you're helping the birds because they'll have a nice cosy nest. Rethink if you are doing a monthly treatment, is that something you need to do? It can be when the there is a problem, you then treat your animal.
They could make these things, the ones that are still available, prescription only rather than just being able to buy them in the supermarket. And for pet owners, if you've got a dog or a cat and it does get fleas, then sure, consider treating it. But in the meantime, if it hasn't got fleas, then don't treat it with a flea treatment.
If it ain't bust, don't fix it.
It seems kind of obvious, doesn't it?
If that happens, vets and supermarkets will make less money. But out in the woods and gardens, our birds might well have a brighter future.